Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And we've got one for you today. A man who has the voice of God, really. An R&B singer, songwriter and arranger from Mississippi who probably has the best soul record in history. If You Were Here Tonight is probably my favourite song ever. It's delicious, as is Alexander O'Neal. How are you?
Hey, Alex, how are you, my friend?
Do you know, I'm really good. To see you back on tour is brilliant, and that's really where you're best, with a band, with a microphone, and that voice. What a blessing.
Well, Alex, I often describe that the best of Alexander O'Neal is what I do on stage, and I am so delighted to be here and to be on tour and the things that I'm doing, still getting a buzz out of performing these days. It's really fantastic.
When was the year that you realised you'd made it? I mean, I worked with you about 10 years ago and I saw the reaction of the crowd and they've followed you since day one. Was there a particular moment when you thought, I've nailed it?
I think probably once you sign your first recording contract, Alex, that's it. I figured at that point that I had arrived, and it wasn't until after the Hearsay album when I really know that I was making some headways in the music industry. My goal was to build a foundation for myself so I could be here 30 years later talking to you, Alex.
Incredible. We look back at the beginning. Were you born singing? Did you always love singing?
It was something natural for me, Alex. That's just what I did. But I come from a singing family on both sides of my family. My mother and my father's side. We're some great singers. I have people in my family who sing way better than I do.
I find that hard to believe. Is that true?
And they do. And I do have some. A lot of times, it's my destiny, and that's pretty much what it was. It's, a talent is something that you have to develop and work on, I think. But it's a vast difference between the gift and a talent. And this gift of what I do naturally was just something that came to me later on in my life, that this is what I'd be doing in my life.
There's also the sexy factor. I mean, you are delicious, Alex. I've seen how you have treated your fans and they have treated you. There's a mutual respect and an admiration, and they think you're a nice bit of trouser, don't they?
Well, they're fantastic. My fans, that's why I have this strong passion, and I'm not just saying this, but I have a very strong passion for my English and my UK fans, because they grow up with you and they grow older with you. I think when you're an artist, you have a certain amount of responsibility to your fans. And I dote on the fact that of having a relationship with my fans and being accessible. And that's one of the things that I bring to the table. I've always been an artist that's going to take the time out and deal with my fans regardless of what the situation is, because they make you. And they grow up with you, and they grow older with you. And then they also bring a new generation of fans that their parents and stuff played your music, and they heard it around the house, and so they grew up liking you too. And it's amazing because we get all types of fans from the show, coming to the show.
Do you like what's happened to show business, that you can have no talent but have a big bottom or big boobs and become a millionaire on the back of it? Does that sit well with you?
I'm probably like Boy George told me. We were talking one time, and Boy told me, he said we was talking about somebody's success and stuff. He said, but then again, I'm probably jealous because they're successful and I'm not, So that made a lot of sense to me, and I probably think, and I'm probably, when I see that, I'm probably jealous because they're successful and I'm not. But it depends on how you describe success.
Well, indeed. Yeah.
I think that, far be it from me to stop anybody from their destiny. And if it meant for them to, look, we open, just like artists before us opened the door for us. We opened the door for new artists. One thing that hip-hop music did that rock music couldn't do and R&B music couldn't do and a lot of other types of music couldn't do, hip-hop brought the whole world together. They brought a whole generation together that was aloof.
Yeah, they were aloof. There was a class, there was a distance. It seems now we almost know too much, don't we?
Yeah, and now it's like you can't tell a young white suburban kid in the suburb that he can't listen to Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre, or they open up the doors of Ice Cube and stuff, and that's what you hear. It used to be you'd hear Aerosmith and Oasis and all those groups going down the street. Now you hear the black kids going down the street and you hear hip hop.
Yeah.
You hear white kids going down the street, you hear hip hop. They changed the whole world. The dress codes, they changed dress codes, they changed the music. So everything has changed. I would just like to see the artists of today be a little more responsible to the upcoming generation, because a lot of the stuff that they're suggesting to the younger generation is just leading them down a dead-end street. Because, you take a lot of these guys didn't even finish high school. A lot of these hip-hop gangster rappers for sure, okay? So their message that they're sending out, everybody's not going to be a Lil Wayne. Everybody can't be Lil Wayne, right? Yeah. Everybody can't be whoever is on top at this point. So you got to find out who you are and what you were meant to do and go for it.
Do you think the world generally is in a good place? It seems to me it's never been more scary, aside from sort of natural disasters like we've seen this week. Do you get involved in politics? Do you get vocal about Trump? So many do.
I can, if someone want to have that conversation with me. I think the world. Look, shit. The world has been here before. People have been around for a long time. Hatred's been around for a long time. Racism has been around for a long time. Yeah. And being a black American coming out of Mississippi, brother, I know about terrorists, okay? Being terrorized by the Ku Klux Klan and hated by Southern white America. I know exactly what that is, because I grew up with that shit. But the world is in a really different place. I don't know if it's in the worst place in time, but it's in a very different place. And what's scary is all the controversies and all the problems that we have, and it don't look like we got any kind of solution. Any kind of answer to fix nothing.
And it does feel from our perspective that the racism is sort of being empowered again and almost becoming acceptable, which is unbelievable in 2017.
Oh, it's horrible. And with all of the hatred and all the terrorist stuff and all the stuff that's going on, because the terrorist, this war, it appears to me, that it's a war that you can't win. You can't win a war when you're dealing with people that don't mind dying, okay? Yeah. They don't, that's what they do. So it's I think the world is a very different place, can be ugly at times, but I'm wondering when the solution is going to come into play, because it's got to be, we can't continue on hating each other.
And it's also, it seems to me, in a war, if you know who the enemy is, you know who to fight. I'm not sure who the enemy is right now. We all seem angry at everybody.
It seems like, Alex, just, the shit that nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
That's what drives me crazy. It's like, we as Americans, we terrorize fucking people all the time. We terrorize countries all the time. British, they do it all the time. But what they don't do is that you just don't see their face on the picture, okay? They're behind the scenes creating all this goddamn problems and all this fucked up shit. And they go, it's like, who did that? Nobody knows who did it. You do know who did it. 9/11. I mean, hell, when they went over to Iraq and to get weapons of mass destruction, that was the whole thing behind that, going over there, weapons of mass destruction. Well, you know he had weapons of mass destruction, because why? Because you gave them to him. Okay?
Yep.
You know America gave them to him because they gave it to Iraq because they wanted to keep Iran in check. Okay? So you gave it to him, so you know damn well he got him. Osama bin Laden. Remember fighting the Russians?
Yep.
You gave him all this shit. and everything else to fight the Russians. But at the time, someone told me they had a definition of what happened. Do some research, I guess. And you know, like if you owe somebody owes you 10 pounds,
Yeah.
and you go to collect that 10 pounds, and they go, well, I'm not going to give it to you right now, this, that, and other, and then you say, but it's mine to have, this, that, and other, and then they get mad on your own 10 pounds that they owe you and tell you, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'll pay you when I'm good and goddamn ready. You dirty ass motherfucker, bin Laden. I'll give it to you when I'm good and goddamn ready. And so, but they didn't know that they were dealing with a different kind of animal.
Yeah.
A different kind of predator. America never saw that. We got, that's what you call getting sucker punch. That's what we got when they flew those planes into the building and stuff. That's because they got sucker punch.
Yeah.
So, they didn't have no idea that was coming. So he says, okay, so that's the way y'all gonna play it, huh? All right, America, I got some shit for you. You ain't gonna get this one. And and it's a reasonable explanation. Now, whether it's true or not, that's fine. But here's the point. My point is that when it comes to terrorism and shit like that, these fucking powerful countries terrorize people. They talking about ISIS and everybody else. Dog, we've done it. We've done it all over the world. What we don't show our face, but we go and we will aid all of that. You see what I'm saying? Now it's coming back to haunt us through Hezbollah, through ISIS, through all this shit here. Now it's coming back to haunt us. All our behavior is coming right back and getting slapped in the face. Okay, so
And
that's the way I view it.
And there is a double standard of life, isn't there? When 10 journalists die in Paris, it's an international tragedy. When 50 people die on a boat coming from Syria, oh, well, it's just another news story. We've got to stop that.
We really got to stop that, dog. We really got to stop that. And the shit support one part of Syria. They get the Russia support, the other part getting shit support. They do all kind of underhanded deals all day long in these kind of things. You know, war is money. So that's the way it goes.
Is Trump the solution, Alex?
No, Trump is his own solution. You know, Trump is his own solution. He's nobody else's solution. Because Trump, as bold as he is, can only go so far. I don't care how much power someone would think Trump has. He would never have as much power as the Republican Party. He would never have much power as the constituents that he deals with for his politicians are concerned. He'll never have that type of power. What I'm saying is that he can't make a decision on his own. He can, but it's got to be signed off on, okay? Right. Other than that, it's a party thing. If people think that they're putting too much blame on Trump this and Trump that. First of all, look, I'm a black American. Was I confused about his message? And maybe still, I don't have to support Trump. I don't have to support Trump. I don't have to do anything. I'm just and his views on certain things. Sure, I have my views on when the Ku Klux Klan, well, that good old boy. I remember we got a word called good old boy. They had that good old boy in Texas. They said, we got our man in now. Well, he didn't denounce them from the first time they doing that you got our man stuff. He didn't denounce them, so from which he didn't denounce them, he only opened up a can of beans that, you know, made you wonder. And when he got, who was that, Nigel Farage, is that the guy?
Yeah, Nigel Farage.
When he brought Nigel Farage down to America and they went down to Mississippi and had their big powwow, what was that saying? You got a guy who's from UK, and I think that Nigel Farage has been misunderstood a lot too, because you can say what you want to say. There's some very valid points to this immigration shit. Okay, I mean in London In London, white people ain't the majority no more. You know, in London, like a new work, it's not like a city, it's like a damn country in itself. So when the man has a very valid thing, you talk about culture, you talk about tradition, you talk about history, and now you're bringing all these Eastern Europeans in to do, slave labor, or to do jobs that Brits don't do anymore because it's not enough money being paid to do it.
Yeah.
So those things in mind, they have some very valid points. But the point of the matter is that him and Nigel Farage, I didn't understand. American people wouldn't even know what a Nigel Farage was, okay? We don't even know shit. We got enough shit to deal with our damn self. We ain't going to different countries trying to find another person to deal with. So, no, Trump is not the solution, but he's also not the problem either.
Right.
He's not the problem either. And me being a black American, I could have all kinds of negative things or negative vibes to say about Trump and his behavior and his brassness, but guess what? He's our president. I'm willing to give him a chance.
Right.
Wouldn't it be pleasantly surprised after 4 years that he did more shit for Americans than any president recently? Wouldn't that be pleasant? Because guess what? It's not very hard, Alex, to do that. It wouldn't be very hard for him to accomplish that. You know why? Because we have had a domestic president for 16 fucking years. Okay? We ain't had no president that cared about the American people. Every president we have had has been conservative, or they've catered to the rich, made it very clear, what about this you don't understand, okay? So I just hope I'll be optimistic, and hopefully, so far, I've seen more results from him than I've seen from any of them, and Barack Obama was a damn joke. Okay? Barack Obama ain't do shit for black people. Barack Obama he didn't put us nowhere. He didn't do nothing for black people. But then again, how do you expect a black man raised in Hawaii if we're going to do something for black people raised west side Chicago? Okay?
I saw an interview recently with Oprah Winfrey, and she was talking about young black males who have never been more disenfranchised in America, and saying that the population of prisons is something like 90% plus under 30 black males. Why is that, Alex, and what's the solution to that? How has that happened that community have become so disenfranchised there's no hope?
Well, it starts at our own race. First of all, we don't take care of each other. Every other race that from my survey takes care of each other and has a certain amount of family value and a certain amount of values. Now, they're not telling you the flip side about it either. The prison system in America is a money-making system. It is all about money. Right. It is you can privately invest into prisons. That's scary. Okay, you're making money off of prisons. So young black males have been an endangered species forever. Okay? Forever, and we're target. But what it is ignorance. So if you're ignorant and you don't know and you keep doing the same damn things, that's why they accept going to prison. Yeah. Prison ain't shit to a young black American. If he been there once or twice, it doesn't matter. I can do this. But what they don't understand is they're ignorant because they don't understand the values of your freedom. Okay. The things that what you can do. So if and guess what? We as parents, my generation, have a lot to be blamed for that, because guess what? We want to be friends with our children. We don't want to be like the old school. My word is law. That's the end of it. They had opinions. How the hell a child gonna have an opinion? Right. An opinion about what? How are you gonna discuss something with me? Yes. So we are a lot at fault for what's going on with our race in that situation.
Alex, I could talk to you all day. I could do another hour of this. It has been fascinating talking to you. I'm going to come and see you in Newark on the 27th of October during this autumn tour, which begins on the 13th, Friday the 13th at Westcliff Pavilion in Clacton, Hunstanton, St Albans, Stockport, Newport, Newark, Malvern, through Lancaster in November. And then you begin again with this brand new tour in 2018, which is incredibly exciting. The Resurrected Tour 2018 begins in Glasgow on the 6th of April and ends at 25th at the London Palladium, a gorgeous venue. Alex, you're a star. You are blessed with a voice that so few have. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to talk to you again.
Thank you, Alex. Have a blessed day, my brother.